Now we come to step 3, probably the most important part of getting your lower back stronger and better for the long term. And this is where we look to train the tissue. We've desensitized, we've created space, we've started isolating and strengthening those key muscles for the back. But actually, how do we get you back to doing the activities that trigger pain? A really common one that I'm going to use in this example is the hip hinge. Bending over to pick something up. Historically, something people with lower back pain were told not to do, but actually the evidence and the science has moved forward. You need to retrain your body to be safe in bending and picking up. So I'm going to show you a progressive training plan for a deadlift. So training how to bend and pick something up from the floor. Remember, this is about retraining the brain. We need to find what you can do pain-free in terms of both hip hinging and lifting. And then we need to increase gradually over time the load that you lift and the range in which you can lift. So this is a generic example I'm going to show you. But you need to look at what you can do. Where can you start? And every 7 to 10 days, increase the load gradually and increase the range, so how deep you may come into that bend. The key thing is to listen to your body. What can you do without pain? 7 to 10 days of training that, increase the load, increase the range. 7 to 10 days after that, increase the load, increase the range, until you're back doing the activities that you used to be able to do pain-free. If you're unsure of where to start, you're unsure how to do this is where reaching out to a coach, a therapist will be really helpful in getting you long-term results. Good luck on your journey, and I hope this helps you get started. So let's start by finding what you can do in a pain-free range with good form. So here we're doing wall touches. So I'm standing a foot from the wall and I'm just hinging at my hip till my bum touches the wall. Keeping a nice neutral spine and just working in that pain-free zone. Aiming here for 2 to 3 sets of 10 to start warming up and strengthening those muscles in terms of bending over. Now, you may be able to stand a little further from the wall without pain, or you may have to start a little closer to the wall. Find what you can do and progress it. And this is the second starter exercise, which is going to help you keep a neutral spine on that hip hinge. Again, focus is not on how low I can go, but it's on keeping that broom touching the back of my head, between the shoulder blades and the back of my pelvis. Find how low you can hinge, keeping that movement pain-free and easy. Now we know we can do the movement. We know by now we can hopefully get to 90 degrees without pain. Let's add load. So here, using a resistance band, we're going to work with the breath. Inhale down, exhale standing up. Inhale down, exhale standing up. So you may not be able to get as low now that you've added a resistance band or weight, but find what you can do. 2 to 3 sets of 10 for 7 to 10 days. And then, as you can see here, I'm getting lower. So we're working towards that 90 degrees of hip flexion and work with the breath. Exhale, standing up. So we want to be able to do our 2 to 3 sets of 10 at this resistance or load and at a good depth of, say, 90 degrees. So this might take you 2 or 3 weeks to get to. Don't rush the process. Be consistent and you will start getting to that range, that depth without pain. Once you can do that, time to add more. So we know how to progress depth. Now we want to progress with load. So here I'm using a 10 kilo dumbbell. You might start with 5 or a kettlebell. Again, find a load you can do pain-free. Inhaling down, exhaling up. Inhaling down, exhaling up. So you can use whatever weight you have to hand. And again, our progression is to increase weight or depth or both every 7 to 10 days. So I'm working towards getting that weight to the ground. So moving towards more of a deadlift movement here. And exhale, standing up. Inhale down, standing up. Now you could start with a 1 kilo weight, a 2 kilo weight, gradually building your weight up. If you use a weight and it hurts, but it didn't hurt with the resistance band, that's telling you it's too much too soon. Find a weight in between. If you don't have weights at home, simply fill a backpack. You could start with a tin of beans, 2 tins of beans, 3 tins of beans, bottles of water. And it's the same principle. Working on depth as well as weight to build up to being able to pick a heavy item, a child, a weight off the floor. Inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down and exhale up. Progressive loading for the back. So in summary, if you're looking to be able to pick up or lift weights without pain, we're going to start with getting the basics right. 2 exercises. The first one, wall touches. So stand about a foot from the wall, and again that distance will vary depending on how tall you are and also how low you can go without pain. So find the right distance for you. Now you're going to bend at the hip, keeping that spine neutral until your bum touches the wall. So this is about your bum coming back and down. We are not bending with straight legs. Find what you can do pain-free. Come further from the wall, go a little lower. Come further, go a little lower. Find where you can do pain-free. And you're going to do 2 to 3 sets of 10 for 7 to 10 days. Once you can do that with ease, you're going to go lower. Can you get to 90 degrees? Second exercise you'll do in tandem with that is the broom hinge, and this is going to help re-educate your spine as to where neutral is. Place a broom pole behind you, touching the back of your head, between the shoulder blades and the back of the pelvis. Now same action here, we're hinging at the hip. So I want you to keep that spine neutral but flex, bend at the hip, bum coming backwards. And again, how low can you go without pain? Now, let's repeat that 2 to 3 sets of 10 for 7 to 10 days when you will try to go lower. Once you can get to about 90 degrees of hip hinge without pain for 2 to 3 sets of 10, then you're ready for the next step, which is adding load. Let's start getting this movement strong. Now, you could start with a resistance band, which you stand on and wrap around your hands, or you could use a light weight. Find the resistance you can do without pain. So that might be a light resistance band, it might be a bottle of water, a 1 kilo weight, or something more substantial. Find what you can do without pain and without compromising that form, that hinging we've been working on. Hinge at the hip, bum back and down, keeping that spine neutral. We're going to work with the breath. So we inhale on the way down, and as we exhale, that's going to help switch those abdominals on, get your core firing, and stand up. So inhale, hinge down, exhale, standing up. Find the weight and the depth that you can do pain-free. So you may need to do 4 or 5 of these to find where you're at, and then see if you can achieve 2 to 3 sets of 10 without pain. Don't be afraid to regress this exercise. Trust the process. Every 7-10 days, increasing the weight, increasing the resistance, increasing the depth. If you make too big a jump, just roll back. It doesn't mean it's not working. It means that that increase was too much for you at this time. Work on that lighter weight for another 7 to 10 days before progressing to the next stage. As I said, trust the process. This progressive loading works. But if you find it hard to structure or find what you can do, this is the beauty and the benefit of seeking out a movement therapist to help you on your journey.